All right, hey guys, it's Dr. Jordan Mousley here with Sports Chiropractic of Utah. I'm visiting with Sharee Snyder of Blissful Body Massage and Foot Zoning. Thank you for taking time out of your day, Sharee.
Absolutely.
And letting us come. We have some really cool bits of information on how you can really take care of yourself for the month of February and for beyond that as well, because it's very important that we take care of ourselves, but we often neglect ourselves. So first, Sharee, give us a little introduction into yourself. How did you get into massage and foot zoning, and kind of a little bit of background about you?
Okay, massage was actually not my anticipated occupation, and it came about in a way that was kind of great. I found myself in a position where I had to take care of my kids, and this allowed me to do that. And while I was in massage school, I came across foot zoning. I was introduced to it, and I thought it was fascinating, but I didn't really dive into it.
Right.
And maybe 4 years ago, I was introduced to Wellness Life Zone, Amber Jensen, and she started treating me with foot zone therapy. And what sold me on this was the way that she worked the entire body through a foot zone. But the most fascinating part was the cranial bones. When she started working cranial stuff, and the foot zone was far different than anything I'd ever experienced, and that's what sold me. Was this is not an ordinary foot zone, and there's so much more that has been incorporated into this that I thought, okay, I can change things. This will change the way I massage. And that was a forethought. But then as I started going into this program, it absolutely did drastically change the way I actually do massage now, and the outcome of clients. We can access things so much more readily through the foot, and then the body becomes literal butter. And it's like ironing. Just spray on a little bit of water in the iron, right. and the creases go away.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it, and it's become a deep passion. Human body and the anatomy of the body and the spirit of the body are what drives me. It's my heart.
Yeah. Well, it's very obvious. I have actually worked with Sharee myself many times, and it's been a fascinating experience. For those of you who have no idea what foot zoning is, we're going to go over that, right? It's a very powerful tool to really access different parts of your body all through the foot. It's fantastic. I've had personal experience with reflexology before, and I'd never had it. I remember the very first time, and actually the last time I ever did it, I was having terrible sciatic pain. This reflexologist went in and just worked her magic, and I was like, there's no way that she accomplished all that through my foot. Like, this doesn't make sense, right? So it was a natural introduction for me when you said you do foot zoning. I'm like, oh, I'm very familiar with that. But foot zoning is very different. It feels like, anyway, than reflexology. Can you kind of go into the differences between foot zoning and reflexology?
Yes. To understand a little bit of foot zoning, you have to go back into the history of where we get the term foot zone therapy and reflexology. So foot zone therapy is still, in Europe, they call it foot zone therapy. And when it came to the United States, Eunice Ingham had to change the word to reflexology, because we don't really get to say the word therapy without being accredited or being a doctor or anything like that. So reflexology was not therapy, but they do consider it therapy in Europe. So that's where we get the term reflexology. Reflex points are not, they're not new. We have, you can follow the history clear back to China. You can follow it to Egypt. So reflex points, we have them in our hands, our ears, and our feet. And you're signaling a part of the body through that to react. So the brain can actually send a message to the DNA, to the cell, whatever needs to happen. We're either going to wind it tighter or we're going to loosen it up. So the body is being allowed to go back to its natural blueprint of health. And foot zoning is different than reflexology, because foot zoning is treating the entire body. Reflexology treats a point, a reflex point. So you may have a headache. For instance, you may have a headache. What causes headaches?
Oh, what doesn't cause a headache anymore?
So you can treat a headache, a certain spot, is the headache going to keep coming back?
Oh yeah.
So the idea behind foot zone therapy is we treat the entire system. We treat the nervous system, the endocrine system, lymphatic, circulatory, organs, blood flow, even the cranium, even all of the I'm losing it here, all of the glands in the brain. We don't know why you're getting a headache. So we can say, okay, push here, whatever, and it may go away. But that's the beauty of a foot zone, is we are continually treating the entirety. We're allowing the body to come to an equilibrium and not just one point.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I mean, I can personally attest to this because I remember working the first time through a foot zone. She said, "Wow, does your head hurt?" I'm like, "Yeah, it hurts. How did you know?" Like, she was just like doing different spots on my toes and on my foot. It was a very, very powerful technique. Can you go into kind of, what are some of the benefits, the most common benefits people experience with foot zoning? Because it's not foot therapy, right?
No.
Don't get me wrong, my foot felt amazing after. I felt my entire foot, which was amazing, right? Because we put our feet in shoe coffins all day long, right? We call them personal foot coffins. But you're able to obviously sense that. So from a health-wise, that's good. But what are some of the most common benefits people experience from foot zone therapy?
Kind of depends on the person, but a general consensus is a general overall, just a general sense of well-being. They can breathe better, they feel more relaxed, and it is strange for people to actually feel their whole foot. When they put that down on the ground and the whole foot touches and they're off balance a little bit, like where is up?
Yeah, right.
But that is generally what people say. One, I didn't know my feet hurt so bad, and two, I feel so much better, so much more calm.
Yes, calm. That's the word. The one word I thought of was stress. I just felt less stress. It didn't feel like my body was on overdrive all the time. I know when you worked with me, the adrenals, were really ramped up, meaning my fatigue from being chronically stressed was just out of this world, right? So it was very, very nice to be able to just say, wow, I actually do feel a little bit more calm. I know, and from clients in the past, that you've worked with, sleeping has been an issue. You can help with sleep. I mean, obviously, I actually had sprained my ankle the first time that I had talked to you, so you worked through a lot of that, and instantly, the next day, I was walking on it just fine. I felt like I had more control. The benefits just seem to be endless.
I'm not here to prescribe or diagnose or make claims that are outlandish. But that was my own personal experience as well. Because I've had some knee issues, some fascia issues, surgery problems. Just through a foot zone, I found that I can work a micro space and affect a macro area. And I love that. So I can, as you learn this technique and you learn this beautiful zone, you start to understand why it's affecting so much. Everything is connected. And that's, we can get into fascia. That's a whole different, a whole different video, a whole different day.
That's a whole day.
But it is amazing what will happen when you just hit a little bit of a signal and a little bit of pressure that goes back to the brain and says, okay, let's undo some things. Let's calm that central nervous system down and come back into our parasympathetic nervous system instead of that fight or flight. Where's the tiger, which we're all living in.
It's so true. It's so funny you bring that. That was our blog post last week. Check it out if you haven't. But no, that's exactly right. So what I love, I've heard you say it so many times, massage is not a luxury. And I love that because we all think that, I'm going to go, Valentine's Day just passed, right? Now we have to have this Valentine's weekend where we go get a couple's massage and fall asleep doing it, right? That's the best way to do it. But why, in your opinion, is massage not a luxury, or why shouldn't it be viewed as just a luxury?
Well, let's get real. Do you have life insurance?
Absolutely.
Okay, why?
In case something happens.
So is that a luxury for you?
No, that's a necessity.
Okay. So those things that you set up, life insurance, homeowners policies, health insurance, just in case. We do all of these things to make sure that something doesn't happen, or if something does happen, our family's taken care of.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, what are we doing to make sure that we don't have to cash in on those policies? What are we doing to live instead of how are we preparing to die?
Yeah.
So the way I see this is we're going to pay for our health care up front, or we're going to pay for it at the end. Either way. We're not necessarily a nation of preventative medicine.
No.
So those that's why I see it as it's not a luxury. If I'm creating something in my own body because I'm so stressed all the time, whatever that might be, whatever disease, if I can do something to prevent that, the upfront cost, might be a little uncomfortable, but the back end is far more exorbitant than, whatever a massage costs you every other week or every week or whatever it is you're doing. So to me, massage, foot zoning, body care work, body work is not a luxury. It is preventative maintenance. It's like a mammogram. We do certain things that are preventative. It's just not a luxury. It's been, looked at that way for a long time. But things have to change. We have to look at things in a different perspective, because we certainly do not live in a place where stress is going to calm down, where those simple diseases or that can become chronic or actually turn into something more drastic, those aren't going to change. But the way that we view our lives can change, and the way that we view things have to change if we want to not cash in on our life insurance policy.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, I have this conversation, I swear, every single day, right? It's shifting our mentality towards, the car maintenance. We're far more likely to take care of our car than we are ourselves, right? We take our car in to get its oil changed, not because there's a problem usually, right?
Yeah.
We take it in to prevent problems. So it's a natural thing that we just don't think about for ourselves. Everything else around us we think about, but taking care of our health as a preventative thing I'm 100% with you. 100% with you. I think it's a great way to prevent future problems, right? And it's far easier. I don't know if it's in your case. I would assume it would be, but in my case, it's far easier to take care of you healthy than it is to overcome an injury.
Yeah. Yes, I've seen it so many times with so many clients. And they'll change and things start to get better.
Yeah.
I've seen that over and over and over and over with clients who have rheumatoid arthritis, or they have, car accident injuries, or they've had hip replacements, knee replacements. They continually keep this maintenance going so that they can do the things that they want to do. And for them, it's not, they've gone to the point of almost death. And that's when they decided, no, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity for me at this point.
Yeah.
And I often have clients ask me, how often should I come in?
Yeah.
And because, let's face it, money is often an issue.
Sure.
Whatever you're going to do, make it consistent. If it's once a week, then make it once a week. If it's every 2 weeks, make it every 2 weeks. And attach it to something. A lot of clients who make their massage once a week do it at the same time every single week. So they're tying it to something that they're already doing, like, after work or after the gym or after a chiropractic visit.
Right.
I see Jordan, then I'm going to go see Sharee.
Sure. No, absolutely. I mean, we have several patients that we've done that with, right? Several. I'm going to put you on the spot right now. She didn't know I was going to ask her this question, but do you mind sharing with us one of the most memorable success stories that you had, be it yourself or somebody else that you can think of that really benefited from the foot zone and massage that you do?
Yeah. I've had a longtime client who has rheumatoid arthritis, and he's had a hip replacement, 2 knee replacements, and he finally had to have an ankle fusion done.
Mm-hmm.
He's let me back up just to give you a little
Sure.
history. When I met him, he couldn't even roll his foot.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't walk. He hobbled, and he had such swelling. His lymphatic was so bad in his legs that his first appointment with me was 2 hours long,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked one leg from the knee to the ankle for an hour, and then I did the other one.
Oof.
So that was about 7 years ago. His goal was to take his wife to Israel
Mm-hmm.
and do the whole tour. I think it was a 14-day tour.
Wow.
And it was about a 10-mile, between 5 and 6 miles a day. So over that whole time, it was 40 miles.
Mm-hmm.
So this, as we've progressed, he was getting better and better and better, to the point where he was actually rolling his foot. So his hips hurt less, his knees hurt less, his everything hurt less.
Yeah.
And he, in fact, did take his wife to Israel, and they did their whole tour, and that was just their dream.
So cool.
So, he's continued to come and come and come and come. He had ankle surgery about 1.5 years ago, and an ankle fusion is not a pretty thing.
No.
It's not. Fusing anything is never good.
Right.
So, because he was in a boot, I could only zone I could only zone one side.
Yeah.
But I could move lymph on
Mm-hmm.
the left,
Mm-hmm.
or on whatever, I can't even remember what side it was. I could work
Sure.
part of his
Yeah,
leg.
yeah.
So between the foot zone and the massage, and him taking care of a few things, I would have him roll, when he could take the boot off when he got home,
Mm-hmm.
I would have him roll one of these gems. I showed him where to roll it,
Yeah.
so he could keep the fascia loose.
Mm-hmm.
So he started to heal faster. And he went back to his doctor, and the doctor said, I can't believe how fast you've healed and how much mobility you have in this foot. This is atypical. You should not be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his story. It's been amazing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's been amazing to be part of, and it's just fantastic. He comes in and he's grateful every
Mm-hmm.
single time. And he and his wife are now doing some volunteer work in another state. And so I'm not sure where his progress is.
Sure, yeah.
But when they get back, for sure,
He'll be here.
he will. And he's sent his whole family to me.
Cool. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing. Again, she had no idea that was coming, but thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted them to see that there really is true power in these modalities that you utilize, and that's why I highly, highly recommend getting in contact with Sharee. So Sharee, can you share with us, how can people get in contact with you to schedule an appointment with you?
You can contact me through my website, which is www.defineyourbliss.com, and you can schedule directly on there. I have an Orem location and I have a Salt Lake location. If you can't find, and I think my phone number is on there as well.
Yeah,
it
is.
It should be.
It should be.
You can call me, contact me through that, or send me a text, and I'll always respond. Those are the best ways to do that. And if you have further questions, of course, you can email me, you can text, you can
ask us.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll
Jordan
get
has
in contact.
information.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So those are the easiest ways. I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
Any
I
other?
think you covered the basics. Online, it's super easy, by the way, scheduling online. Very easy. You can see exactly what's available. Get in quick. She fills up quick. It's very popular. But for those, maybe even healthcare practitioners, in the healing arts, other massage therapists, other healers, how can anybody certify in foot zoning, or how's that process work?
It actually, yes. Foot massage, it's a different process, but
Mm-hmm.
foot zone therapy is actually a licensed thing in Utah now. They passed a bill in, I want to say 2014, might be 2015,
Mm-hmm.
but it's House Bill 114, and it allows pretty much anybody who goes through a certification course through an accredited school and who belongs to a foot zone association
Mm-hmm.
to to teach you the protocol, and you have to take board exams, and you have to pass those with at least 80%. But that allows you to actually say, yes, I am a certified foot zone practitioner. We're not therapists,
Right.
but we're practitioners. And you can charge money. You can make this a career. You can make it a hobby. So yes, there are ways to do that. And I actually am a licensed instructor with Wellness Life Zone.
Yeah.
And it has been a great thing.
Fantastic. How do people, it's the last thing here real quick, but how do people get in contact to become a foot zone practitioner? Who should they contact?
You can contact me. I'm actually starting a class, 2 classes in March, one in St. George and one here locally, and that will be starting. Call me or text me for a cost, and then I'll start another one in a few more months. That's the best way to do it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We really appreciate it. I know you're very busy.
Sure, I'm
very
happy
busy.
to do it.
Again, we'll leave all of the contact information in the notes on the video. If you have any questions, please contact Sharee. Please contact me, Dr. Jordan Mousley at Sports Chiropractic of Utah. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. But again, just to recap, massage and foot zoning is not a luxury. Take care of yourself. Be proactive about your health, because that's the best way you're going to get the most out of your life. I loved what you said. We want to live and perform and do what we want to do and not just plan our death. So let's all do that. Hope you enjoyed this interview with Sharee Snyder. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. But have a wonderful day, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.